Yo, what's up guys? You got pokeaimMD here. Today we have another Pokemon Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl moveset video guide on how to use Houndoom. This is another highly requested Pokemon. I actually used it in my playthrough of BDSP as well, and I really like Houndoom. I think it's a cool Pokemon. It's such a sick Pokemon. So if you guys do have other Pokemon that you want to suggest that I make moveset video guides for, leave them down below. Just remember that I've done a bunch so far, so maybe I already talked about the Pokemon that you want me to make a guide on, so I definitely check for that. And if you are new to the channel, make sure you subscribe. On my way to 300k, I'm uploading 2 to 3 Pokemon videos a day. You got moveset guides, you got a Showdown Live later where I show off Houndoom as well, and the thumbnail looks sick. And then you also have a Wi-Fi battle or a talking video after that. So make sure you sub, and also if you want to pick up my new merch that just dropped this month, that ends early next month, feel free to celebrate the launch of Pokemon Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl. Now Houndoom is predominantly a special attacker. It has lost its Mega, unfortunately, at the moment, which was an incredible Pokemon in its own right. But Houndoom can still do quite a bit of breaking with its Nasty Plot set. So the first set is Nasty Plot. Usually you use a Life Orb. You can use Leftovers if you want to. I didn't put it as a slash because I think that the Life Orb for the oomph, the power, is really, really good. But Timid, max speed, max special attack. You definitely want that timid nature. You're outspeeding Pokemon like Roserade, and below that, Nidoking, Heracross, max speed. So you want to be faster than those Pokemon that can threaten you with KOs, and you can threaten them back with KOs. So Nasty Plot allows you to boost your special attack to +2. And then you have Dark Pulse, which is your main stab move. It's great. Anything you're faster than, you could potentially flinch as well, 20% of the time, which is cool. And then your fire move is either Flamethrower or Fire Blast, kind of up to you. Fire Blast is better if like you're using it in OU, I think, and you're fighting a Gliscor that's max special defense, because at +2, Life of Fire Blast can nuke that thing, whereas Flamethrower can potentially miss out on the KO. But Flamethrower is nice if you do not want to miss, and it's pretty strong after a Nasty Plot boost anyway. And then your last move is a combination of whatever you think is better for your team. Sludge Bomb allows you to hit fairy types like Azumarill upon switching. You don't typically want to stay in on Azu, but maybe if it's locked into Play Rough and it can't Aqua Jet you, Sludge Bomb lets you hit that thing with a 2-hit KO. Gardevoir as well, because you can't Fire Blast this and so trace your Flash Fire. It also allows you to hit Clefable too. And then you have Solar Beam. Solar Beam is if you're running it on a Sun team. That allows you to negate the charging turn for Solar Beam, and also allows you to hit Pokemon like Gastrodon and just water types in general. And then Taunt is also an option. Taunt can stop opposing defensive Pokemon from healing up, as well as Pokemon from setting up in front of Houndoom, and just, you know, lets you 2-hit KO stuff with like Dark Pulse plus Taunt and things like that. If you're running Taunt, maybe run Leftovers on it though, just for the longevity. It doesn't have the best defense at all, but it has respectable special defense, and it can allow it to better take on ghost types in that way. So besides that, we have one of my favorite sets of Houndoom and most fire types. This is one of my favorite sets to run on just most fire types, and that's the Choice Specs set. I love Choice Specs because Overheat becomes an actual nuke. And it's so nice because you're able to just click that Overheat and get off a strong attack. Obviously, you do drop your special attack by doing that, but that's completely fine because this isn't necessarily supposed to sweep, right? It's there as a hit and run type of thing. You go for a Specs Overheat, even resistances taking like 40, 50%. If you're not a resist, you're great. This can KO a Dawn fan from like 99%. I say 99% because if it's at 100%, you'll obviously have the sturdy. You're KOing special defensive Bronzong. You're doing like 60% to Flygon. I'm talking about like a UU and stuff like that too. Obviously, if you have Overheat for the nuke damage, you don't want to really miss Fire Blast, so I like to go Flamethrower when I go for like strong fire type attacks as a secondary attack, just because you do have that consistent damage and you're not going to miss by going for Flamethrower. Of course, you also have your Dark Pulse. That's your Dark Stab. You have to use Dark Pulse. And then Sludge Bomb is there as your last move. If you're using it on the Sun team, you can definitely use Solar Beam again as your last move. But otherwise, Sludge Bomb is just a great move. 30% chance to poison. It's just a good neutral. It's a decent neutral move in general, I think, too. Allowing you to hit those fairy types that might want to come in, like Special Defensive Clefable, for instance. If it's unaware, you just nuke it with 2 Overheats just because it's unaware of your special attack drop. So you'll always have a max power Overheat versus it. But otherwise, you can go for Sludge Bomb to potentially try and poison. And if you're using an OU, Sludge Bomb is like a little bit better. So we have Nasty Plot, we have Specs. So next up, we have Mix. Now, Houndoom does have priority in Sucker Punch. And being a Dark type and having Dark Stab on that Sucker Punch is really nice because it allows you to knock out Ghost types like Gengar, Miss Magius from full HP, as well as Alakazam as long as it's not Focus Sash. And you do like 70 to 80% to Latios as well. So it does some beautiful damage to a lot of Pokemon like that, giving you a priority move to be able to pick off faster Pokemon than you that can threaten you with an attack, especially like Miss Magius is Nasty Plot boosted, Gengar has the option of Focus Blasting, Alexander has the option of Focus Blasting, obviously Latios can probably knock you out with every move that's not Psychic as well, if it is Choice Spec, so Sucker Punch allows you to deal with that. I only have 4 attack investment, but if you really want to knock out Latios like guaranteed after Stealth Rock, you would have to run up to about 200 attack investment with a hasty nature. I opted for hasty over naive just because it does have better special defense, so I don't want to impede its ability to check the ghost types and stuff like that, and psychic types just because it has worse special defense. But Sucker Punch, with this one I think you want Fire Blast just for the added power, because Fire Blast and a Sucker Punch can knock out, like for example, a Salamence, right? Let's say a Scarf Salamence comes in on you. If it takes Stealth Rock, if it takes Fire Blast, it dies to Sucker Punch, right? Whereas Flamethrower would not be able to do that. But Fire Blast is just stronger. And of course you do have your Dark Pulse. And your last move is either Sludge Bomb, Substitute, or Nasty Plot. Because you can use Nasty Plot plus Sucker Punch. Because imagine you go for Nasty Plot, you're faster than most Pokemon. Then they have like a Miss Magius and you're like 20% because of your Life Orb. Or anything like that. Or like a Gengar, you want to be able to knock them out but still threaten slower Pokemon at the same time. So Nasty Plot is an option. Sludge Bomb, always an option for the fairy types that I did mention. And then Substitute is an option too. Now Substitute plus Life Orb might sound bad. You could run Leftovers, but the idea is that Houndoom is a frail Pokemon, but it will force switches. If my opponent has a Grass type in front of me, more than likely they're going to switch out because they're going to be fearing the Fire type attack coming at them. So I can go for Substitute as they switch out into, let's say it's a Rotom Wash, for instance, and now I can safely, instead of having to predict the Rotom coming in and going for Dark Pulse and having the Grass type saying, like, let's say, I know Rillaboom's not in the tier, but let's say it was a Grass type that could, like, go for a fighting type attack. Forget it. Let's say Cacturne, right? Because Cacturne is a Pokemon. Cacturne could have went for, like, a low kick on you or Drain Punch or whatever. So you went for Substitute to avoid that attacker to scout for it, and if they switch out to Rotom, you can then hit them with a Dark Pulse while behind a sub because you are faster than Rotom and potentially flinching them, but also getting out of there safely by avoiding a Hydro Pump. So that you can still use that with Life Orb. It does obviously make you have to worry about hazards and whatnot, but it's still solid in general. And then the last set we have is a Choice Scarf Houndoom, and this takes advantage of Houndoom's surprise Destiny Bond. Destiny Bond's cool because when Houndoom dies, if it goes for Destiny Bond and you have attacked it in that turn and knocked it out, you will die as well. So this can allow Houndoom to get rid of giant threats like Dragonite's Gyarados, Dragonite's Dragonite that didn't go for Extreme Speed for whatever reason, a Dragon Dance Tyranitar and stuff like that. Just doesn't even have to be Dragon Dance Pokemon, but I was just naming some giant threats. Fire Blast, Dark Pulse. I think you want the power. Fire Blast with your Choice Scarf. You don't have a Life Orb boost, so you definitely want that added power. Dark Pulse is there. Will-O-Wisp for Sludge Bomb as your next move. Will-O-Wisp can be cool if you don't, if you want to cripple like a physical attacker, but not necessarily Destiny Bomb because you're scared they could sit up on you. Because a lot of those Pokemon like Tyranitar does not have to really fear, especially if it's Lumberry. It doesn't really have to fear. Houndoom could set up. Of course, it doesn't have to be Lumberry, which would stop the Will-O-Wisp. But Will-O-Wisp being able to burn those is nice, crippling physical attackers, and Sludge Bomb again for the fairies, and of course the Destiny Bomb like I mentioned. So that's all I have for Houndoom. I use Beat Up in game. I think Beat Up was fun. You could also probably put Beat Up on a Life Orb set and deal with Pokemon like Blissey, which would be cool. I don't think physically based sets though are too worth because it does have like cool things like Thunderfang, which would be cool in a metagame where Pelipper was still good, but because Drizzle's banned in higher tiers, I wouldn't really use Thunderfang. And yeah, so in terms of partners for Houndoom, definitely want Hazard Control, right? Rapid Spinners like Starmie, Donphan, or Defoggers like Scizor or Latios, depending on what tier you are using this Pokemon in. I like Donphan specifically for Rapid Spin because it also takes most of the physical attacks aimed at Houndoom. Like if you're looking at Yu, it'll take the Dragon type attacks and Ground type attacks aimed at Houndoom as well. You definitely want some speed control depending on the Houndoom you're running. If you are running Choice Specs, you probably want a Choice Scarfer alongside with you. Flygon's good in the lower tiers, as well as Salamence too, because Houndoom deals with Cresselia and Donphan to an extent. So that's something that allows you to kind of because you're dealing with the Psychic types, the bulky Psychics and bulky Ground types with Houndoom, that allows Flygon and Salamence to clean up. Definitely things that can switch into water type attacks, whether it be Gastrodon. Gastrodon's a pretty good one because it absorbs the water type attacks and gets a special attack boost. Fighting type attacks, checks like Psychic types, bulky Psychics are really nice too. Latios, Starmie, as I already mentioned. If you're running Houndoom, you could also try it on Sun Team. So Torkoal and Ninetales are nice for the drought support. With that, you would obviously pair things like Victory Bell or Venusaur to take advantage of the sun. Charizard as well if you want it next to Houndoom just to go crazy with double fire moves and stuff like that. Heatran is also a nice one too. Infernape as well. And Cresselia works really nice on Sun too because it's a fighting resist. So like for like Infernape and stuff like that. And just fighting types in general. But it also has Moonlight, which in the sun recovers more. But yeah, that's basically all I have for you guys when it comes to Houndoom. Thank you for watching. Hope you guys all enjoy it. Subscribe if you haven't already to the channel. Got a Houndoom Showdown Live coming out later today. And thumbnail just looks cool. I think the thumbnail looks really cool. Let me know which Pokemon that you guys want to see next down below. And I'll see you all later. Peace.